Hello, I'm back for another video. My name is Josh Kastic, and today is my Spirited Away review. So yes, I am back for another Studio Ghibli anime movie for my Studio Ghibli series on my channel. This is by far, in my opinion, the #1 Studio Ghibli movie. It's just that good. My dad has had this movie in his collection for years, and I've watched this movie so many times, I can't even, how I put this. I can't even, count how many times I've seen this movie. So, it is a long time coming to do this review. I think this is a perfect year to do this review because, well, the movie originally came out in Japan in 2001, but here in America it came out in 2003. So this is like the year between both the Japanese 20th anniversary and the American 20th anniversary. And obviously I'm an American, so I thought this was a perfect year to do this review. This is a little bit out of order because normally I'm going in the kind of in order on the Studio Ghibli movie set that my dad owns, but I really wanted to record this and get this out. So now without further ado, let's get into the plot. So the movie opens up with a car, and in the car you have our main character Chihiro in the back seat, and her parents are in front with her dad driving. They are moving, and she's kind of depressed because she had to leave behind all her friends. She has a gift from one of her friends that left a little bit of a note and a letter, and unfortunately they kind of miss the turn, and the dad decides to go on a detour route, which he thinks is a detour route, but he doesn't really know. He takes the turn, and it leads them into this old building with a tunnel, however. And much to Chihiro's dismay, her parents really want to go exploring. And so she doesn't want to be left alone, so she just decides to go with them, and they go through it, and they realize that they think this is an abandoned amusement park or whatever, and they cross over this dried up river into this town-like area, and they smell food, and her parents go immediately and start eating. And Chihiro's like, we can't do this, there's no one here, we can't pay for this, it's just not right. And she goes off trying to figure out how to figure things out. And where she kind of runs into a bathhouse type of place where a guy kind of sneaks up on her named Haku. And he says that, oh, you're a human, you're not supposed to be here, you need to get to your parents, and you need to get out of here before and cross the river and before it's too late, before sunset. And so she goes and tries to find her parents, but unfortunately, when she tries to get her parents, they have been turned into pigs. And in the process of going there, she sees all these spirits and all this stuff because she's now stuck in the spirit world. And when she tries to go back to where they came in, there's a distance between where she is and that building they came through because there's a huge river now. And a boat comes up and full of more spirits coming out. And so she kind of runs back to the bathhouse to find Haku. And Haku basically gives her something to eat so that she could be invisible to everyone else and sneak in. And that she needs to get a job with the boiler man Kamaji. And they sneak her in, she kind of gets around, opens a little door and goes down these long stairs down to the boiler room, almost being spotted or whatever at one point because the effect doesn't last that long. But she's able to go into the boiler room, and she meets Kamaji, sorry about that, my camera died, and so I was cut off, and now where was I? So I was talking about how she made it to the boiler room, and how the Kamaji is known as the boiler man because for a bathhouse, he boils the water, and there are different temperatures and special waters which we can we eventually learn as we go throughout the movie. Now she's asking Kamaji for a job, that's why she's down there, but he refuses to do that, and then eventually another worker comes in named Lin, and Kamaji tells Lin to take Chihiro to Yubaba, who runs the bathhouse, to give her a job there. And so Lin had to sneak Chihiro all the way up because since everyone else is there spirits, and she's a human, they're very prejudiced against humans. And so it's very problematic if they see her or caught her or anything like that. But they're able to, she was able to sneak her up, and Chihiro goes and sees Yubaba. Now Yubaba, she's a witch, and she kind of not only runs the bathhouse, but she kind of runs the entire area, but mostly the bathhouse. And she's the one that turned Chihiro's parents into pigs. And she's really annoyed by Chihiro and her parents being there, and she's annoyed that they ate the food that's supposed to be for the other spirits. And so she was going to turn her into a pig too, but Chihiro kept asking her for a job, and she's getting really annoyed, and she's refusing, but Chihiro's being stubborn, and then they kind of woke up Bo, which is Yubaba's big giant baby, although she's kind of big too. And she finally gives Chihiro a job if she just be quiet. And so she signs a contract, and then she takes Chihiro's name and gives her a new name, Sen. And then she gets the same job as Lin, and they kind of go and she leaves. Then Haku visits her and gives her this note with this card that used to be from her gift, or I think that has her real name on it, and it helps her remember her name because she was going to forget it, and that's how Yubaba takes control of you, and you'll be here forever if you forget it. She takes your name, give you a new one, and if you forget it, she wants you to forget it, because once you forget it, you're in her control. So that's kind of how it is. And so then she kind of goes and tries to do her job. She accidentally leads a really bad spirit into the bathhouse named No Face because she thought it was a customer. Then she gets her official job because there's this big stink spirit, a spirit full of a lot of junk and mud covering it, comes in and tries to get back. Now, this is when we kind of get to see the different types of waters. There's different special waters. The more special, the more expensive, so that's how they kind of have a business, And if you could pay more, you get a better wash. And so Chihiro, with the help of Lin, they're tasked with trying to clean this stink spirit. And Chihiro goes to try to get these little trinkets things that they kind of plug into a thing inside the wall, and the one of the bath stalls or whatever, which is and it goes up and it reaches Kamaji, and Kamaji then does his job, which flows in the water and everything like that. So that's how that kind of works. But the guy being prejudiced against humans wouldn't give it to her. So No Face, because she was nice to let him in, sneaks one, and because he could be invisible and stuff, he takes one of the things and gives it to her, and eventually he gives more to her. And then they show her how to activate it, and it goes off. But then, realized that wasn't doing enough, and so she starts putting more trinkets in. This is really bad. The water just starts flushing. The trash is falling out. Another thing kind of sticks in, and the spirit kind of talks to her, like mentally. And she thinks that she has to take this thing that's sticking out, like one stick. So they kind of all help her. Yeah, they all help, which is really weird, concerning. And because I think there's gold kind of fell out too, and so they grab it out, and basically all the junk came out, and the spirit was renewed into and what he really is a river spirit, and he's full of junk because of people polluting the waters and stuff, and that she kind of figured that out. And because she did that for him or helped him, he gave him he gave her magical dumplings, and there's also gold that fell out, so everyone's kind of going crazy. Now at night, No Face, because he saw the gold and see how people are kind of upset, so that started kind of duplicating the gold. And one worker sees it, gets the gold and stuff, and then he gets eaten by No Face, and then he kind of starts going on a rampage and giving people gold, and people he wants food and all this stuff, and people are just giving it to him because they're getting gold, which is kind of actually just fake, not real gold. And then he tries to talk to Sen, and that was two people interrupted that, and so he just eats them because he cares about Sen a lot. Then Haku shows up. He's in his dragon form. He has a dragon form, and he's being attacked by Origami, and Sen sees that, and then Chihiro, he lands in Yubaba's penthouse, and Yubaba and all of them are trying to deal with No Face, and she goes off and tries to help Haku. Then the Origami kind of turns into a witch. Now the witch isn't there; she's just kind of using the papers to form as her, and her name is Zenaba, and she's actually the twin sister of Yubaba, and she is mad because Haku has stolen a golden seal from her that is also cursed, and this is kind of hurting Haku, and being really annoyed by her sister because Haku works for her sister, is kind of his her fighter or whatever you want to call it, basically his slave and stuff, and his name was stolen from him, and he doesn't remember, so he's trapped as under Yubaba or whatever. And so before leaving, because obviously you can't get the golden seal, she takes Bo, Yubaba's son, turns him into a mouse. Yubaba also has this harpy, which she turns into this fly, and then Yubaba also has these 3 head things that she turned into Bo, and then leaves. Then the Bo as the mouse, the fly, Chihiro, and Haku go down to the basement where Kamaji is, and she gives some of the dumplings to him, and then he spits out the golden seal, and was this black sign that Chihiro kills by stepping on it, and she thinks this is the curse or whatever that's on the golden seal. And then she's determined to take the golden seal back to Zeniba, and so Kamaji gives her a train ticket, but then Lin shows up saying that you're asked to confront No Face. So she goes and confronts No Face, and everyone thinks she's going to die or whatever, and because Yubaba can't even deal with No Face, and No Face keeps trying to thank her and give her gold and everything, and she's just not having it. She doesn't want to deal with that. And then she gives the rest of the dumplings to No Face, and this starts like hurting him. Like he's not doing so well, and he's throwing up all the things he's ate, and he eventually does throw up the 3 people he ate, and they're still alive for somehow or whatever. And so then he kind of converts as she's running away, trying to get to the train, and the No Face is chasing after her. He kind of converts back to normal, and then he decides to go with her on the train to Zeniba, and they go to her place. She gives back the golden seal to her, and she also revealed that Bo and the fly could turn back any time. They're choosing to stay in this form for some reason. And then we cut to Haku confronting Yubaba. Yubaba saying, "Oh, it's all Chihiro's fault. I'm going to deal with her." But Haku reveals to her that she's been tricked by her sister, that her baby isn't actually here, and then the baby, she she goes to makes the baby convert back to the three heads, and then Haku says that your Chihiro went to visit your sister to get back your son and everything. So I want you to free Chihiro and her parents. And said that, well, I'll do that on one condition: if she passes one final test. So Haku leaves, and he visits Aniba to take back Zen or Chihiro, the mouse and the fly, and then they decide to go with her, but No Face decides to stay back and just work with Zeniba, and then they go back. Now, in the process of flying, Chihiro remembers a story about how she accidentally fell into this thing called the Kohaku River, but she was rescued, and so she remembers Haku's real name, the spirit of the Kohaku River, and that he was the one that saved her. And so then now he stops being a dragon, so I guess that was just given to him because of Yubaba. And I forgot. So I think he was the apprentice is the better term for him, for Yubaba. He's Yubaba's apprentice, but now he's free. But they didn't stop. Like he was still able to fly or whatever, and he takes her back to the bathhouse, where she's confronted by everyone and Yubaba and this pen of pigs, and said that you have to do a test. And then, but now her baby and the heartbeat turn back to normal. And Bo talks to his mother, saying that you need to stop being mean to Chihiro. And but she tries going, oh, but I made a promise. I can't go back on a promise now. And Chihiro says, yeah, you can't go back on a promise, so I will. I made a promise. We made a deal on this, and that I have to go do the test. So the test is that she has to figure out which of these pigs is her mother. And I forgot, there was a scene earlier, I forgot to mention, where Haku takes Chihiro to see her parents and this pig pen. So this is how she knows what her parents look like. Apparently, they all look the same. But she realized that none of these pigs are her parents, and she was right. And all these pigs convert back to normal as well as her parents. And Kohaku takes Chihiro back to where the river is, now dried up again, and said that you need to go just cross the river. Your parents are waiting for you to leave. Also, forget to mention, Zeniba also gave Chihiro a ribbon that she's wearing during these last few scenes of the movie. And now she goes and finds her parents. Her parents don't remember anything, but the last thing they remember is eating the food, and then they leave, and they witness that their car has been covered with leaves. They all try to clear, and she gets in the car, and Chihiro looks back, and that he realizes that the ribbon's still there, so this is all not just a dream, this actually happened, and that's where the movie ends. Well, guys, that's, like I said, that's where it ends, and so let's kind of get into my thoughts. I love this movie. If I haven't mentioned this already at the beginning of this film, I'm mentioning that I love this film. It's definitely one of my top favorite films, not just in anime, but in general. I love this film. And it's in my opinion, the best Studio Ghibli movie. My dad thinks Howl's Moving Castle is the best, but I prefer Spirited Away. I've seen it so many times. I enjoy it. I can't stop watching it. It's one of those things that I would always go back to and watch. It's just that good. I enjoyed all the characters, their dynamics, the relationships. I liked all how it all played out. The writing is phenomenal, and the art style or animation, or both the art style and animation, are really well done. And I definitely do recommend this film. If you have not seen this film yet, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go watch this film. Even if you're not even an anime fan, if you like movies, just need to go watch this movie. That's it. You just need to. All right. And that's pretty much all my thoughts on this film, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, If you're new, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified from the next upload. My YouTube channel, website link, my Twitter, my Snapchat, and Instagram are all in the description as always. And thank you. Goodbye.